What up? It's Jack, aka Just a Cunt here, and today I wanted to talk about UFC 319 DDP versus Khamzat Chimaev. Now, this card I feel was actually quite exceptional. I feel a lot of people are giving it a lot of heat. They're not fucking with the main event. They're kind of disappointed. I'm not too mad at them for it. But overall, before we get into that, looking at top to bottom of the card, we got 2 spinning back kick knockouts. We got a solid performance from MVP. Tim Elliott with some. We got some good episodes here. I made some money this card. Had some fun KOs. You know, Gerald Mishart, Anthony Hernandez, or Alexander Hernandez. There's some interesting fights here. Not an insane card performance-wise, but there are some fun fights here. But let's go ahead and start with that main event. Dricius Plesis versus Khamzat Chimaev. And before I get to a technical breakdown, if I hear one more, brother, you embarrassed, brother? You cry, brother. For a fucking YouTube short I made, well, not even my official prediction, I'll give you this. You have successfully rage baited me because fuck each and every one of you. I picked Khamzat Chimaev, and now I hope he gets brutally flatlined by fucking by Kyle Barao. Kyle Barao fucking one-shots this kid. With that being said, I picked Khamzat, and I'm not too surprised this is happening. It's kind of what I was talking with friends about. The whole, you know, Khamzat early, DDP late. Well, not like it makes sense on paper in terms of like a surface level look. When all of my clips looking at the DDP fight, while he has good jiu-jitsu, I didn't expect him to get submitted early. I just felt that Khamzat just has the wrestling to just keep him controlled and just hold him down for as much as he wanted to. I did expect Khamzat to go for it more, especially when he had the crucifix. I expect him to go to the finish more, but I felt like he really only went for the finish when it didn't take a lot of energy, or if he really wanted to like go for it was like a rear naked choke attempt. But overall, he played it pretty safe, which I think for his style is fair. I feel that for him, especially getting to the belt, and especially going against someone like Dricius, who's striking-wise, besides him and like Jared Cannonier, in terms of people that could like bully him on the feet, there isn't a lot of guys that can do it. So I think this was a smart gameplay by Khamzat, for as boring as it was. I think he can have gone. I think he needed to see that he can go 5 rounds. I think in the future we'll see a more exciting Khamzat, especially against guys like Chimaev or Kyle, the winner of that, or because besides Anthony Hernandez later in this division, there's not too much I could really see posing a threat to this guy. Him, RDR are really the only 2 fights that I think were interesting. Unfortunately, though, I think we are gonna have to see the winner of a Chimaev versus Kyle face Khamzat. I think Chimaev just deserves it. Period. I don't know. We got to see how much time RDR and Khamzat makes. Maybe if they want to make that fight sooner. But I think timeline-wise, they're just going to wait for that fight. But hopefully Chimaev wins very impressively when we get that fight. Because I do think on the feet and early in the fight, Chimaev can pose some problems for Khamzat. But I think Khamzat is going to get it later. And Khamzat, unlike all these guys, has the ability to just say, fuck it, I'm going to body lock you, hold you on your knees, and just keep you there for a round. Whereas other guys just don't have that. They have to pull it out a lot more. They have to be a lot more. They have to get a lot more things right, where Khamzat can brute force a lot of things well. In this fight, though, looking early on, DDP is a fucking retard, and I'm not going to let this just be Khamzat Chimaev is boring, because I think that's what both sides are going to do this game, where it's just going to be Khamzat is the GOAT, Khamzat is so good, you're all crying, and then there's going to be the other side, where it's going to be like, Khamzat is super boring, who cares? DDP is fucking retarded, and I'm not going to let this just be, like, ignored. DDP, what the fuck are you doing pulling? I get it, you want to pull the first guillotine? Sure, you want to pull the... I get the only times I think it is somewhat okay to pull guillotine is if you're going down anyway, and you want to get full guard. He didn't do that, he just held onto the headlock, which doesn't fucking do anything. 2, if it's at the end of a round and you want to go for a big moment, because guillotines can look deep, and it takes a second for the guy to pop their head out. So if it's like 5 seconds left in a close round, and you jump a guillotine to look good on the judges, it can look pretty deep. It could look more deep than this. It can kind of, you know, it could be interesting. When you should never pull fucking guillotine is when you're down 4, 10-8 rounds. You have mount against Khamzat Chimaev, and you literally, the second he picks his head up, you decide to jump the guillotine. Dricius, I'm glad you lost this fight. I am glad you lost this fight. You have heart, you're fucking dumb. And this is weird because he hasn't really made these type of mistakes. I know he's like goofy, but he hasn't made a lot of like super big mistakes in a long time. Against Adesanya, he seemed like he played it pretty technical. Against Strickland as well, he looked like he did. But against Khamzat, bro, these fucking Hail Marys. This is literally like me going onto the parlay and being like, fuck, bro. I lost all my picks. All right, I'm about to perfectly predict the next card finishes over under and I'm gonna bet $500 on it. Fuck it, right? You know, like some dumb shit. Brother, you lost every single round. Go for ground and pound. Stop going for submissions. You're not gonna get it. You can't submit people normally. You can't submit people unless they're rocked generally. You're not a good submission artist consistently. Go for ground and pound. You're a big fuck. Try to get a 10-8. Try to fucking hurt Khamzat. Try to do something. Stop jumping fucking guillotines, bro. Holy fuck. On the feet, though, for the limit exchanges they had, Dricius did look good. Landed a head kick, I believe it was to toes, it kind of looked like. Landed some good shots on Khamzat. Khamzat looked good with the kicks. I think his kicks are going to be irritating for a lot of guys who want to come in on him. So like Anthony Hernandez, who's a fight that I think can be interesting in terms of purely the grappling. I think on the feet, though, his kicks are going to be a problem because he just is so long and he is quite tall for the division. I think some guys like Chimaev and you know, guys can deal with it, but then it's going to be this thing where it's like, okay, you have to deal with the wrestling and the striking, which only Dricius is one of the guys that had a style that's entries for that, but he just doesn't have good wrestling. I don't even know if Khamzat cardio is all of a sudden better, as much as I don't think he went for the finish as hard as he did against Usman. And for the fact that Duplessis wrestling just isn't that good, so anytime that Khamzat was somewhat tired, he could just take down DDP with ease and just hold him there, because DDP is like, he has decent defensive jiu-jitsu. His like submission defense looked okay, but none of that matters if you're gonna get held on your back. I saw MMA Che talking about, kind of annoying, where it's talking about DDP has good jiu-jitsu get-ups. That doesn't matter against a wrestler. The wrestler's gonna control position no matter what. You can just defend submissions, and he did good. And I just wish the biggest thing, I just wish Khamzat went for more devastating ground and pound. Even when in crucifix, if he went for elbows, I guess he wants to prevent injury. He wants to do that, which I get. I mean, Khamzat played it pretty perfectly. It's probably one of the most dominant title fights in history, especially by decision. For a decision title fight, it probably is the most dominant. I can't really think of a bigger shutout for 5 rounds. Even Cheeto O'Malley, you know, and we include level of competition too. I think it's difficult too, but I think Khamzat looked really good. I think a lot of people aren't blowing how boring he was. I think it was first title fight. I think in the future it's going to be interesting. I do think Khamzat, though, anytime he feels tired in the fight, is just going to try and do that. But depending on the guy, it might not work out, because Chimaev has better wrestling than Duplessis. On the feet, I think Chimaev can actually hurt Khamzat. I just don't think Chimaev is going to have the cardio to go all 5 rounds, and I don't see him be able to finish Khamzat, because he's not really a great finisher. Moving on, though, Lerone Murphy, my boy. I built about 10 parlays around this brother. I knew he was gonna I didn't know he was gonna flatline this guy. I actually said he was gonna win by decision. But yeah, he actually looked not crazy. So the biggest thing I've been telling everyone about Aaron Pico and why he's overrated, it's a handful of things. A, he's very plotty. On the feet, he definitely is he hits hard. He can pick. He has good timing with his shots. He's very fast, but he just kind of plods forward a lot. He's very similar to Michael. You know when Michael Chandler has he got his jab out there, and he's just kind of like slowly jabbing on you, and you could clearly tell he's trying to line up a right hand. That's what Aaron Pico does all the time. And he is like a good wrestler, but he's not a great jiu-jitsu guy. And it kind of like, as you saw, Lorenzo was just gonna get up. He got like bullied like 2 or 3 takedowns, but he was able to just get up. And then Aaron Pico becomes very predictable on the feet. And obviously, I didn't expect Lerone Murphy to be exciting to get a spinning elbow KO, but I did expect him with the kicks to eventually land good shots on him, and I could see him finishing him. I expected more of a knee, though, And the only thing about Lerone Murphy, he was pushed against a fence very hard, and I was hoping he'd get off the fence, but he was defending pretty good. It was just kind of nerve-wracking where Lerone Murphy has been dropped before. People are overblowing how chin he is. He got fucking dropped by Danny Ige. Every single person in the fucking division, if they get hit with a hard shot by Ige, is gonna get dropped. Alright, fucking Ilya Sport got fucking knocked down with a head kick. He's not fucking chinny. But Lerone Murphy looked good. Not too much take from this fight. It happened in the first minute and a half. Minute and a bit. But yeah, Lerone Murphy, it's going to be interesting because him and Evloev are kind of right there for the title shot. I still think Evloev deserves it more just because I think wins over Aljamain Sterling and Arnold Allen is more impressive than Josh Emmett, Ige, and Aaron Pico. And Lerone Murphy is going to try and fool everyone, including the boss, and I think it's exciting after this. But I do think he is light there in the title shot, but I think he still needs one more because these Bellator guys aren't good. They just rely on fans never watching their fights, looking up some highlights, being like, oh my god, bro, Aaron Pico. He looks like Pedro Pascal, bro. He's gonna win, bro. He's gonna knock out Volker, bro. Outside Lerone Murphy to fight just one more. I wouldn't mind him fighting the winner of Lopez Silva, especially if it's Gene Silva for a title eliminator belt. I wouldn't mind that person getting the title shot. But I think Lerone Murphy may need one more. But I can see him being the backup for an Evloev Volk fight. He's kind of in that weird position. Moving on, though. Carlo, he's really not helping the CP memes, bro. What the fuck is that mustache? Against Jeff Neal, bro. Carlos Prates looked really good. He looked better than I expected to him. I was kind of nervous he's going to be kind of... He did the things that I wanted him to do, but I was nervous he wasn't going to. And that was, uses kicks a lot, uses range a lot, commit a lot to strikes. And yeah, he looked really good. Came in there, he got hit with a couple shots, his chin looks good. His chin's always looked good to me. He's never really looked chinny. Even though he's kind of like the quote-unquote build of like a chinny guy. He takes shots really good. And he looked really good. This is one of the most impressive wins over Jeff Neal, I think, period. And hopefully we can stop overhyping Shavkat for beating Jeff Neal and, you know, beating Wonder Boy and almost getting choked out by Ian Gary. Wasn't that impressive. I think Carlos Prates was kind of disrespected a lot. I know he lost to Ian Gary and he lost it pretty clearly, but I think it was an interesting stylistic matchup. I think he could have won at the end if he won for more ground and pound. Moral of the story for every UFC fighter, when you're down on rounds, go for fucking ground and pound and not fucking submissions. Or position, just go for ground and pound. Carlos Prates, though, looked really good in this fight. Looking at who he goes further in the division, though, I think he actually has an ability to kind of beat a lot of guys that I think most people would pick against him. Like, I think he can beat, like, a Bilal Muhammad. I think he can beat even, like, a Sean Brady. I think he can beat a lot of this guy, because jiu-jitsu, his defense has always looked quite good. Now, it's one thing to defend Ian Gary and reverse him, and then go against Sean Brady and Bilal. But I think he could be, if he does focus on a lot of wrestling defense, I actually think he could be very good in this division. How old is Prates? He's probably going to be like 30. 32, he's not like super young, but he's definitely in his prime. He definitely kind of needs to get it going. I'm glad he wants to go in there against MVP in a fight that I think is interesting. I think Carlos Prates has the type of style to make it interesting with MVP. But yeah, speaking of which, so MVP, Jared Cannonier, this is what I expected as well. I thought he was going to be able to snipe Cannonier on the feet. Cannonier always gets rocked in the beginning of every fight. He didn't get rocked too bad. I actually expected him to get hurt more, but he got dropped the first 2 rounds, but it was more like an off balance. He didn't really seem too hurt. And yeah, Cannonier just looked predictable on the feet. MVP is going to beat everyone on the feet. They can't move well or really leg kick it with them well. The only thing that's annoying about MVP is why I can't really get behind him as like a really good fighter is that anyone that gets a takedown on him is going to win that round. He has good takedown defense. He was defending good against Cannonier. But the second someone actually gets the takedown on him, he's going to lay on his back and defend submission. So, Tim Elliott, Kai Asakura. Holy shit. Damn. Sorry, not very demure. Tim Elliott looked really good in this fight. Kai Asakura looked pretty shit in this fight. I don't know why Kai Asakura just doesn't throw kicks. Just doesn't. He was landing some good shots on Tim Elliott, and he looked good on the feet, but he didn't look good enough on the feet to justify how shit his just grappling is. His takedown defense is bad. His jiu-jitsu is just really bad. He's just not UFC caliber. I'm not too surprised. None of these guys are UFC caliber. Bellator guys, all these guys. Now, I did expect him to be able to beat Tim Elliott just because Tim Elliott was, like, quite old, took a bunch of time off. I was hoping to be able to chin him, land some more knees, but Kaya Sakura just doesn't really have the firepower to get some like Tim Elliott. I should have seen this one coming. Now this happened, I kind of wish I got this pick. I did win some money off it though, so I'll take it. Eric Nolan almost knocked out this guy, but didn't. Got finished. I don't really know too much about these guys, so unfortunately I can't say too much. But it was okay. Looked solid. Michael Lewis, the fighting nerd versus Gerald Mearshart looked really good. This is what I expected to happen too. Michael is someone who's very sharp in the boxing, and Gerald Mearshart's just so slow. He's just so goddamn slow. He is so geriatric, I think is the word on the feet, where he's literally just like slowly inching towards you. Every single shot that doesn't knock him out is like 0.2 centimeters from his chin. And yeah, I'm surprised people were picking Gerald Mearshart. I put some money on Mearshart just because he's a decent big underdog. Because, you know, I expect if he did take it to the ground, I thought it can be interesting. But he's not a good wrestler, and on the feet, like, he can't go good against fast guys. Like, I know people kind of do MMA will be like, well, against the RDR, he looked good, so against Michael, who's a worse fighter, he's gonna win. That's dumb because just because RDR is a better fighter than Michael doesn't mean that Michael doesn't have faster hands and is a more devastating boxer early in the rounds. Michael, he's been looking solid in the next couple of fights. I think he's kind of getting to the point though where I think he is gonna struggle, but he's getting a lot of good wins coming off. I think he's like a 2 or 3 fight win streak. Good for Michael on this day kick. Jesse Andrade, Lupe Godinez won early. Jessica didn't look as bad as I thought. Won a little bit later. Good job. Yeah. Alexander Hernandez, Chase Hooper got the snipe. Boys, what can I say? Big Hernandez getting the KO. Using his physicality. I didn't think Chase was going to be that big, and I kind of was nervous about Hernandez just because he was getting caught on the end of a lot of these kicks. I wish Chase Hooper used them more, especially being the grappler between the two. But Hernandez looked solid. He was landing good shots every time he let his hands go. Chase Hooper just doesn't have good boxing defense. He still needs to work on that more. And he literally is Oliveira-esque, where he kind of just gets too comfortable on the feet. When you're this type of rangy, long guy, you can't really just put your hands up and expect to defend everything. Especially when they're very lazy. You kind of need to, like, use your lengths a lot better. You need to, like, since he's not devastated on the feet, he needs to be more defensively sound, and he needs to improve his wrestling more. So, he looked good with the kicks. Chase Hooper didn't look bad. He was winning the first round in a close fight. But Hernandez able to catch him at the end of it. Get the knockout. Good for Hernandez. Won me some dinero. Moving on, Drakkar Klose, Edson Barboza. Yeah, about what I expected. Drakkar Klose comes forward, but pressures, Khamzat attacks him, attacks takedowns, and yeah, beats Edson Barboza over 3. Now, it was pretty clear that Edson Barboza, it was even like literally 2 years younger. He could probably knock out Drakkar Klose, land some good shots. But yeah, high volume pressure fighters are going to beat Edson Barboza at this point in their career, unless Edson Barboza lands a crazy shot and knocks him out. Karine Silva, Diana Barbosa. Diana Barbosa looked good early. You arguably could have given her the fight. But Karine Silva was able to rally, looked something more solid, kind of sloppy grappling, able to lock up close submissions though, and yeah, won a close competitive fight. Joseph Morales. Honest to God, when I picked Dricius, I just picked him based on odds. I didn't realize how shitty he was. I don't watch Ultimate Fighter. I've got literally a million things better to do, including fucking nothing, than watch the Ultimate Fighter. And yeah, Joseph Morales just bullied him. He looked better on the feet, looked better in the boxing. His grappling was much better, looked very slick, able to maintain control, certain submissions when need be, able to transition really good, and looked really good in this fight. Shout out Joseph Morales. Don't shut out Brian Battle. Fuck Brian Battle. I knew I had a feeling to not like this fucking cunt. Learn to make weight, you fucking dumbass. Unless you had like a serious injury, bro, I'm sick of you, bro. I'm sick of you. I hope when you guys will rematch it in fucking Abu Dhabi that Ruzaboyev just fucking take care of you and they cut you from the UFC. Moving on though to nothing. That's it. That's the end of the goddamn video. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, have a good one.